Hi guys, Bob Vandersloot here with Hockey Pro Training and Peak Athletic Training. I'm here with my model Seth today. We're going to go over how to do a front squat properly and the benefits of using the front squat in athletic training and in strength development. So first thing we'll go over is bar position. We're going to look at where Seth is most comfortable or where the optimal space is or spot is on Seth's anterior for this bar to go and for him to be able to bear load with it. So we've got a couple different options that we use. The first option that we like to try to show our athletes is the clean grip. So we'll get Seth to get in a clean position here. Most of the time when we're getting the clean grip, we're probably going to prompt our athletes to use 2, maybe 3 fingers so that the wrist flexibility doesn't come too much into play, and we can manage to get those elbows up and create a good shelf for optimal position of that bar. So we'll get Seth to show us his 2 fingers here, and he's going to drive those elbows up as high as possible to try to get them just above the level of the shoulder girdle where the bar should be sitting. So right now, his elbows are in a pretty good spot. You'll notice that he doesn't have many fingers on the bar. He's looking at 2 fingers on the bar. The bar is sitting nearly on his clavicle, almost right up against his jugular. So he's probably a bit uncomfortable, but the position of the front squat isn't the most comfortable to begin with. At first, once you get used to it, it does become a little bit better afterwards. So that's the clean grip. You can rack it. And we use that with a lot of our athletes who are comfortable doing hang cleans, and they do have that good wrist flexion, and they have some good flexibility in their tricep and in their lat, and they're able to get that elbow position. If athletes aren't able to get that elbow up where the desired level is in order to create that good optimal shelf, then we try to teach them how to get into like a cross grip position. And the first thing we'll do with a lot of our juvenile athletes is just show them how to get under the bar and position the bar properly so that their arms are level and it's able to keep the bar in a good position that way. So Seth, you just want to walk under the bar. And then I'll have him unrack the bar from that position. And this way he kind of gets some proprioceptive feedback and can kind of understand where the level of his hands and elbows have to be in order to maintain that bar and go down into a squat in that position. So we'll get them moving once or twice in that position, and again, they feel that their shoulders have to do a little bit of the work. Good, and then I'll just get them to kind of gently grip the bar, and they kind of cross their fingers and they put their thumb underneath the bar. So they're just kind of balancing the bar. Sometimes we'll have them put their thumbs under the bar kind of like this, or we'll have them use a butterfly grip like this. So again, a couple different options for athletes, whatever their comfort zone is. I'll just rack it again. Okay, so that's bar position. Now we'll talk about the actual lift itself. The benefits of the lift are plenty compared to, let's say, a back squat. So the front squat, we're looking at actually lengthening the lats. We're going to use the bar to engage and lengthen our lats, whereas with a back squat, you're going to be pulling the bar forcefully down and shortening the lat muscles. So we get to actually lengthen the lats in that regard. And it does help for some athletes too when they're rounding their shoulders or rounding their upper back and kyphosis. So if an athlete does have an upper rounded back, the front squat actually almost prohibits that. And if they round too much, then they end up just dumping the bar and the athlete won't be able to do that lift. Now, if you've got an athlete with severe kyphosis and good thoracic rounding, then you probably don't want to squat them in the first place. But in a lot of cases, if they do have to squat and they do have a little bit of an upper back round, then the front squat may even correct that. Let's see you get down. Okay, the other issue or the other kind of concept that we're going to try to teach here is a knees out concept. So when we tell our athletes to squat, we want to try to put them in a position where they're engaging their glutes and pushing their knees outward. So if we look at Seth here, he's going to try to push his knees out and squat between his hips. Right. Good, and he's got good depth out of that squat. The front squat actually allows for a little bit more depth as well. It creates a bit more of an upright torso and allows squatters to, if they generally don't get that much depth if they've got tight hips or tight hamstrings, it allows them to get a little bit more depth at that squat as well. It's also a little bit more shoulder friendly. We don't have the external rotation, so let's just show a back squat position. So you'll notice here Seth is in quite a bit of external rotation. It's not a terrible position, but you need the amount of flexibility to get in that position. If you're dealing with a volleyball player or even a hockey player with nagging injuries or in season, a lot of times we don't want to put them in that position because it can be allow them to be prone for some more injuries or susceptible to some discomfort. So the front squat is beneficial for that regard as well. Good, and let's talk about equipment here. So Seth has a pair of squatting shoes on, and they'll actually allow him to create that bit of a platform and make that movement a little bit more quad dominant, and again, allow him to get into a bit of a deeper squat. If you've got shoes that are a little bit flatter, like deadlifting shoes or even some of the cross trainers anymore that are minimalist, it'll be a little bit harder to get into a deeper squat without having a little bit of posterior pelvic tilt or getting into the depth that you want. So any sort of a high platform shoe, it doesn't have to be a lifting shoe, but even I've got a basketball shoe on right now, even something like that with a bit of an elevated heel would be beneficial for you. So that's our front squat. Hopefully you guys learned something, and Seth is a pretty good model here, one of the best front squatters we have. Hopefully he showed you a thing or two as well. That's it from us from Peak Athletic Training, Hockey Pro Training. We'll see you next time.